Hey, this is Rachel Cunningham, and you're listening to Joyful Love, episode 73. If you're ready to bring joy and connection back to your marriage, stick around. Each week, I give you the tools to up-level your thinking, open your heart, and bring joy and fun back to your relationship. Because it's not enough just to stay married. We want to love being married. Hello, friends. This is the middle of January, and I am just really craving the sunshine right now. It's every time around this time of year when it's just gloomy and dark outside and it's chilly and cold. And I feel like because I live in Tennessee, it's supposed to be the South, so it's supposed to be warm, but it really never is during this time of year. But I just really start to crave more sun and warmth on my skin. And, I still go outside. I went on a walk with my son the other day. We went hiking at this beautiful trail that we call the secret gem of Nashville. And but it's a really long trail. There's a stream. It's just a gorgeous park that we have here. But I was telling him on the hike that I really can't wait until the leaves start to turn green and the sun is out and you really get a good sweat when you walk, right? So that's what I'm craving right now. Chris and I took another walk in the morning, and it was dark, and because we went at about 6:30 in the morning, and it was still dark and cold, and we could feel the wind on our back. And on the way down through our neighborhood, he was like, on the way back, it's going to be so cold because the wind is going to be hitting our face. And I was like, yeah, I know. So I need to shift my mindset a little bit around this chilly weather, because I'm really, I'm grumpy about it lately. But so that said, I really look forward to March when I start to really feel the sun again. But today we're going to talk about how to use the 5 love languages for you instead of against you. And I posted a little bit of this idea, this new concept on the 5 love languages in my Facebook group. And someone said, another aha moment. And I said, yeah, that's what I'm here for, is those aha moments. And when she said that, I said, okay, that's my next podcast topic. So if you guys have an idea of a podcast topic that you want to send to me, just send me an email at hello@rachelcunningham.com and just put in the subject line podcast topic. Tell me what you want to talk about. Or even if you have a question for me, just shoot me an email and ask me whatever questions you want. And I'll start to put some of those questions into the podcast episodes for you guys. I was just thinking this morning about how, I'm on episode 73 now, and I don't think I'll ever run out of things to talk about love and marriage and women's issues and the struggles of being a woman, a married woman in today's world, in today's culture, in this culture of hustle and busyness, where we are reaching our goals, but also we want to nurture our relationships, right? There's so much to talk about. So I don't think I'll ever run out of ideas, and I could even repeat the same ideas and in a new way. And so I used to think, oh gosh, how am I going to have a podcast every single week and have topics for that? But so far, I haven't run out of topics. And I know that you have some in your mind, and you have some struggles in your relationships that you would like some answers to. So send me those questions again at hello@rachelcunningham.com. Okay, so before I get started on today's episode, I also want to read a message that a client recently sent me. And this is why I continue to do this work, because this work matters, coaching works, and my clients keep getting results like this. And as long as they do, I'm going to keep showing up and helping you guys. So she texted me a couple weeks ago out of the blue. She said, Rachel, I'm feeling a real depth of love for my husband. It feels so easy and unforced. so much like it's just meant to be. I'm so proud of us both and love that we've managed to rise in love together. I see us aging, and it feels great that we're going through life together. I'm forever grateful that you helped show us a route through together. Isn't that amazing? My heart leaps for joy every time a client sends me a message like this. What a beautiful testimony of growth, love, and what marriage should be. Rising in love together. Doesn't that sound brilliant? Oh, I love it. If you want the kind of help that she got from me, I invite you to come coach with me. If you want to rise in love with your partner, I welcome you. Come coach with me. Coaching helps you to do this quicker. It helps you to get out of your own way and intentionally love with more connection. And yes, you can absolutely do this work. And I can teach you how to get out of your own way. I would be honored to be the one to help you. So you can book a free consultation with me, no obligations. You can go to rachelcunningham.com/work with me and we can have a chat. All right, so on to today's episode. We're going to discuss the 5 love languages and the problem with them. Yes, there is a problem with them. The 5 love languages, first written about by Gary Chapman, helps us to understand that we have a preference in the way that we receive and give love. Those 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, so doing the dishes, gifts, so, offering presents and gifts and showering each other with different gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Now, I can really see the benefit of understanding the 5 love languages and how we love differently and how some of us really prefer to be loved or to give love in a certain way. This can be really helpful to understand ourselves and to understand our partners. But I think most people use the love languages against their relationships instead of for their relationship. Today I'm going to show you how and how to stop doing that. One of the ways that we can strip ourselves of personal power in our relationships and when we tear down true connection in our relationships is when we approach the love languages this way. When we say, here's how I like to be loved. Now you have to change the way you naturally love so that I can feel better, so that I can feel loved. Do you see how awful that can feel? When we try this approach of trying to change the way our partners naturally love so that we can feel better, we end up falling short of loving our partner for who they are. And they end up falling short of loving us. When our partners do try to love us in our love language instead of their own, often we judge them for not doing it right? Even if we see them trying, we're like, oh, they're just not good at this. They're not doing it right. Or we don't feel like they're authentic, right? We're like, oh, they're just doing it because we told them to, right? Of course, it's not their natural love language. They have to learn. They have to practice, right? It's not going to feel authentic to who they are because it's not. Now, this doesn't mean we don't want to understand our partner's love language and practice loving them in those ways. This is not an all or nothing concept here. There are times it can be helpful to understand how to communicate your desires and to understand your partner better so that you can love them in their way and vice versa. Understanding how you want to receive love and how your partner wants love can be a really good thing, and it can help in understanding each other and connecting. It can also help in having compassion on each other, right? Like, oh, my partner wants touch and I haven't really offered them touch much this week, right? They're missing something. I'm going to have compassion on them. They seem a little down. I'm going to have compassion on them, and I'm going to go offer them a massage. What a beautiful thing to do that for your partner. And yes, you can even ask for that. But when it crosses that line into criticizing your partner for not loving you how you want to be loved, or when you try to manipulate your partner to change for you, then you cross that line into using the love languages against your relationship. So how do you know if you're using the love languages against yourself? You can know by the way you feel. When you feel really frustrated at your partner for not loving you in the way that you want, or you feel like that tension in your body when they try to love you in their way instead of your way, when you criticize them, when you say things in your mind like, all he wants is for me to touch him, all he wants is to grab me. Dude, wake up. I need you to do the fucking dishes, right? Then I might want to be touched, right? If you're using that, that criticism of the way they love to ask for what you want, you're in a no-win situation, right? What if you just backed up and asked for what you wanted instead? What if you leaned into the way they love and say, oh, I love you too. Thank you for hugging me. Like, what if you noticed them trying to love you in their own way, lean into it, appreciate it, and then ask for what you want? Like, oh, I love you too. I want to snuggle too. I want to hold you too. I want to fool around too. Let's get the dishes done first, right? Help me with all of these other things before we go to bed, and then we can have some touch time, right? Do you see how that second way is lifting up their natural love language instead of tearing it down? It's blending their love language with yours instead of criticizing and using their love language to judge them, right? Or let's look at the opposite side. If your love language is touch and your partner's is acts of service, you might be saying, I just want you to hold me. And you're just constantly going from thing to thing to thing and doing things, right? This turns into a lack of appreciation for who your partner is naturally. If you're not careful, it can turn into that cycle of criticism really quick. And criticism is the number one thing that tears apart relationships. So how do we get the love we need and want and still appreciate our partners for how they naturally love? A few things can help. We must learn to use the 5 love languages to build up our relationships instead of tearing them apart. Here's how. Number 1, start paying attention to your own love language. What is it? How do you give love naturally without it feeling uncomfortable or forced? How do you receive love naturally without feeling uncomfortable? Next, you need to amplify that. This is an asset. Play it up even more because it's authentically you. And it feels really good to be and to love in your most authentic way. And then where can you offer your love language to your partner more? Do that. Be yourself in your relationship. Don't keep trying to be somebody different so that your partner can be happy. The best thing you can do for your relationship is to be your authentic self as much as humanly possible. Let it be fun to discover new ways to love them that feel true to you. And when you do this, you might surprise yourself and go, oh, this new way, this new love language feels really good too. When you start to play around with the different love languages and get curious, like which ones might I get really good at? You could practice each of them and notice which one feels best. And then next, ask yourself, where can you receive that kind of love more? Yes, you can ask for it from your partner without the criticism, right? But be aware that this might be difficult for them because it might feel inauthentic to them. So meet any effort on their part to try with gratitude. They love you enough to try something that doesn't come natural. That is beautiful. It's not an opportunity to criticize. So for example, if my love language is gifts, and I ask my husband to give me gifts more, and I say, you know what, I love it when you just kind of surprise me with flowers or unique gifts that you've seen. I love it. I love those surprises. I love gifts. He may try, but he may not be super good at it. He may struggle to know how to make me happy. He may feel awkward trying to give. So even though he's trying, he may feel strange doing so. And I may notice how difficult it is for him. So instead of criticizing, I encourage you, if you notice your partner trying, welcome the ability to see his or her heart in these moments. Your partner's trying, and that shows that they care for and love you. So appreciate that. And then remember that your partner doesn't have to do anything to make you happy. Your happiness is yours to own. Your partner may say, you know what, I suck at gifts, I'm not going to try that. Tell me anything else, right? And you get to kind of go, okay, like I get that. I'm not going to try to convince you to do something that you don't want to do. Your happiness is yours to own. Your joy is yours to own. And that's where the fun is, to say, okay, my partner's not super good at this. So how am I going to continue to love myself and receive maybe those gifts from someone else? Maybe my mom is really good at gifts, right? And I'm like, oh, Mom, I love gifts. I just want that in my life. So maybe you're going to ask for it from someone else who is good at it, right? Maybe you're going to have a friend who you swap love languages because you both have the same love language, right? You can lean into that with someone else. Your partner doesn't have to be everything to you. They're not supposed to be everything to you. They're supposed to be themselves, and you're supposed to be yourself. And then you get to meet in the middle and love each other in the way that feels best to you. Remember, you are in this relationship because you're choosing to be. No one is forcing you to be in this relationship, but so many people wake up and treat their partners like someone is forcing them to be in this relationship. It's not true. You could leave anytime. And I think that's really important to remind yourself of. Like, if you are choosing to be in this relationship, choose to be all in. Not 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Not 1 foot that says, well, I'm in this relationship because I committed 10 years ago, but I really wish I didn't have to be in this relationship, right? That's no fun. Remind yourself why you are in this relationship. You're here because of love. You're here because you really like your partner. You're here because something drew you to them in the beginning. Remember that, right? You're getting something out of this relationship. That's why you're choosing to be in it. And if you don't want to, you can choose to get out at any point. So if you are choosing to be in, be all in. And part of being all in is accepting your partner for exactly who they are. So all of that to say, if there's a part of your love, wants, and desires that you're not getting authentically from your partner, you can always have them met in other healthy ways, okay? Another way to really fill your own soul's desire for a specific love language is, if you're first recognizing and appreciating their natural love language, and you've asked for the type of love that you are craving, and yet you're still not receiving it from them. Sometimes you can fulfill your own soul's desires for love by offering it more. Like, for example, if I want more physical touch through maybe massages, I can offer more massages. If I do, it's often reciprocated, especially if I don't expect Chris to read my mind and I just simply ask. Don't expect your partner to read your mind on your natural love language cravings. If I want more verbal affirmation, I can offer more verbal affirmation. Oftentimes, our partners will naturally mirror us when our love and actions pour out authentically without manipulation tactics. Remember that your partner's job is to be the most authentic version of themselves that they can be. And the greatest gift that you can offer yourself and your partner is to totally accept them for who they are and what their love language is and who they're learning to be. And yes, definitely offer love in the language that your partner likes. This can be really healing for your own personal growth and theirs. And one other thing, when you practice offering your partner love in the way that they crave, you might discover that you actually do like their love language, right? You've just been holding yourself back from it due to circumstances and stories from your own past. So maybe, for example, maybe your mom criticized a gift that you gave to her when you were a kid. And now you've been carrying around this story that you're afraid to give gifts, that you're not good at gift giving because of that one time that you remember that someone criticized a gift that you gave them or made fun of it. Or maybe you don't like touch because you have fibromyalgia. Right? But under different circumstances, maybe touch would be your love language. And maybe you can start welcoming in touch in a way that doesn't exacerbate your fibromyalgia, right? That's just one example. But you never know what might be influencing you or your partner's ability to offer and receive one of the love languages. It could be past stories, it could be past traumas, it could be past circumstances that were out of their control where their brain just decided to latch on and say, oh, I'm not good at this. So you don't have to make it mean anything negative if you feel a little bit like it's unnatural when they try to give you love in a way that you naturally receive it. It might take practice for both of you. It might take understanding your own stories that you play over and over in your head. And that's okay. And honestly, when you drop the criticism and just welcome in radical acceptance of who your partner is and who you are, that welcomes in a great opportunity for appreciation and for humor. Always meet any effort of love with appreciation and seeing to the heart of your partner for trying. And if their effort is a total flop, welcome in some compassion and then welcome in some playful humor. Not critical humor, mind you, but playful humor. You can always ask for love in the love language that you want, but the thing that's really going to build your connection is appreciation of who you are authentically and who your partner is authentically. Notice and amplify the way that you and your partner naturally shows love. Here's the truth. Practicing receiving your partner's authentic love language is way more important for connection than asking or requiring your partner to change their love language to suit you. I remember when I first realized this, and I was like, what? I've had the 5 love languages wrong all along. The whole point of the 5 love languages is to understand your partner more and to accept them for who they are and to encourage them and lift them up to be their most authentic self and to do the same for yourself as well. If we put more emphasis on trying to get our partners to love us in our special way, we miss out on the beauty of loving our partners for who they are. And that, my friends, is where the fun comes in. Appreciating yourself for who you are and inviting your partner to be their most authentic self is going to do more for your relationship than any criticism or trying to convince them to change. for you will do. So, what's your love language? What is your partner's love language? How can you notice and appreciate the way you love and amplify that? And then how can you notice and appreciate how your partner loves and practice receiving that today? Use your differences for you, friends, not against you. And if you're sitting there wondering what your love language even is, or what your partner's is, or maybe you're someone like me and you're just like, I just want all the love, right? Can I please have all of them? Whatever way you got to give it, I'll take it. If that's you and you do want to practice this by leaning into loving your partner more in actions, but you're not sure where to start, just start with an easy one. Which one feels most joyful to do right now? For me, the easiest one is words of affirmation. I don't have to wrap my mind around it. I don't have to plan it. I just have to bring some awareness to something amazing about my partner and lean into that and then verbally express it. So make it easy. Choose the simplest one and lean into it. And then just have fun testing the others out. Just remember that the main idea of the 5 love languages are so that you can get really good at understanding your own love language and how to give that love even more. And also so that you can get good at seeing where your partner naturally and easily loves and appreciate that more. Yes, you can ask for more of your love language, but do not use it as an opportunity to criticize your partner for how they naturally love. Don't use it against yourself. Now, I have a warning here. Sometimes you can feel really triggered by this concept if your relationship is already rocky, or if you've got some personal healing to do in order to really fully accept yourself. You might need help in understanding how to see your own enoughness in this area. If that's you, I invite you to book a call with me right now. That first call is a free consultation to help you take the blinders off and see the root of the problem. There is a solution to every problem you've got in your life, in your marriage, and your ability to experience more joy, more peace, and more fun in this life with your own soul and with your life partner. And working with a coach will help you to uncover that solution much more quickly. And honestly, with more fun while you do. It's just more fun to do this work with a coach who's encouraging you and helping you along the way. You can book that first call with me at rachelcunningham.com/work with me. All right, I'll see you on the call, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Joyful Love. If you'd like to know more about my work, come visit me at rachelcunningham.com. That's Rachel spelled with an AEL, Cunningham.com.